guys, I'm London. If you are new here, I am History of the Batman, where with each video, Instagram post, you name it, we relive the defining moments of one of the most iconic figures in comic art and literature, DC Comics Batman. So it's been way longer than a week since I've uploaded, so I already broke my streak of I'm gonna upload each week. I have failed you and I am extremely sorry. This year marks the 79th anniversary of the debut of Batman, which is major. It's like Christmas for people like me. I thought it would be fun to do a celebratory video of the Batman. This video has a similar format that I did for DC Comics on their YouTube channel, where I did 78 facts about the Flash. I will link that in the description below if you are interested in learning more about the fastest man alive. Since Batman turned 79, it is appropriate to do 79 Bat Facts celebrating his 79th anniversary. And just a quick disclaimer, there's a lot of history to try to fit into 79 facts, which means I did not say every single fact about Batman. So once we're done with this list and you want to tell me that I missed something, trust me, I probably did, but I curated this list to the best of my ability so it goes into a nice chronological look at the evolution of this character that we all love so much. So let's just dive right in. But before I do, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I promise I will upload more. And if you are a fan of the Batman, why wouldn't you want more Batman in your life? It just makes sense. Alright, here we go. While cartoonist Bob Kane came up with the name and the concept of the Batman, Ghost writer Bill Finger literally changed the game, providing the Dark Knight's aesthetic and much, much more that we attribute to the Dark Knight that we celebrate today. The Batman debuted in Detective Comics 27 on March 30th, 1939. The very first story, The Case of the Chemical Syndicate, not only debuted Batman and his civilian guise of Bruce Wayne, but also Commissioner Gordon. In 1939's Detective Comics 31, the Flying Batarang made its debut, which is Batman's go-to weapon, and also Julie Madison, Bruce Wayne's fiancée and first love, made her debut as well. Detective Comics 33 in November 1939 saw Gardner Fox pen Batman's first origin story, introducing Bruce Wayne's parents Thomas and Martha Wayne and how they were killed by a mugger in a dark alley one night. Dick Grayson, aka Robin the Boy Wonder, debuted in April of 1940's Detective Comics 38, unofficially beginning the Batman family. The balance between Grayson's bright optimism and the Batman's dark demeanor was a huge hit among readers, so much so that Batman gained his own self-titled publication in spring of 1940. Batman #1 was huge. This issue debuted two of the biggest Batman rogues to date, Catwoman and the Joker. Batman's home was given the name Gotham City in 1940's Batman issue #4. Of course, coined and created by Bat God Bill Finger, Batman's car is officially named the Batmobile in 1941's Detective Comics 48. 1941 saw two classic rogues debut, the Scarecrow in World's Finest #3 and the Penguin in Detective Comics 58. Two of the biggest pieces of Batman's iconography was established in 1942, the Bat Signal in Detective Comics 60. And the Batcave, or at this point how Bill Finger put it as his secret underground hangars, in Batman issue 12. One of my favorite villains debuted, Harvey Kent, aka Two-Face. Fun fact, Harvey Kent became Harvey Dent because National Publication, now what is known as DC Comics, didn't want to confuse Clark Kent and Harvey Kent as related or similar. I wish I had confetti to throw around because it is the 75th anniversary of Alfred Pennyworth, who debuted in 1943's Batman issue 16. Technically, he was Alfred Beagle when he was introduced, but this is actually a great segue into our next two facts. The Batman debuted for the first time outside of comic book media in 1943's Columbia Pictures black and white serial series Batman, starring Lewis Wilson as the Dark Knight. Do not sleep on these serials. I know people like to forget about them because they're in the 40s. It's not the Nolanverse. I get it. But these serials were so important to the establishment of the Batman Foundation that we love today. Not only did 1943's Batman establish the term the Batcave and the grandfather clock that Bruce Wayne uses to enter the Batcave, but also William Austin's portrayal of Alfred Pennyworth, his aesthetic, his demeanor, all of it was the reason why we know Alfred Pennyworth how we do today. Batman officially calls his underground secret hangars the Batcave in 1944's Detective Comics 83. In 1947's World's Finest issue 30, the giant penny, which is one of Batman's most well-known trophies within the Batcave, was introduced in the story The Penny Plunderer. In 1948, Joe Chill was named as the mugger who gunned down Bruce Wayne's parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, in a slightly updated origin story in Batman issue 47. This same year, two classic Batman mythos characters debuted. The King of Conundrums, the Riddler, in Detective Comics 140, and investigative reporter / love interest Vicky Vale in Batman 49. In 1949, the black and white serials Batman and Robin debuted on the big screen, starring Robert Lowry as the Caped Crusader. In 1951, perhaps the Joker's most well-known origin story is established in Detective Comics 168's tale, The Man Behind the Red Hood. Even though in the 1940s, Batman, Robin, and Superman had their own World's Finest comic book together, it wasn't until 1954's issue 71 that Batman and Superman joined forces in their own stories. Ace the Bat Hound makes his debut in Batman issue 92. Oh, I love puppies. Kathy Kane debuted as Batwoman in 1956 Detective Comics 233. Before rounding out the 1950s, Mr. Freeze, or as he was first introduced, Mr. Zero, made his debut in 1959's Batman 121. March of 1960 brings the formation of the Justice League of America within the pages of The Brave and the Bold number 28. In 1961, Betty Kane is introduced as the first Batgirl. In Detective Comics 327 from 1964, Batman's new look is established in comics, which means you can see the yellow chest emblem that is in most of the classic interpretations of the Caped Crusader. January 12th, 1966 saw the series premiere of the live-action TV series Batman, starring Adam West and Burt Ward as Batman and Robin. The series lasted 3 seasons all the way to 1968 and turned these comic book characters into pop culture icons. June of that year, the femme fatale Poison Ivy debuted in Batman issue 181. January of 1967 debuted the character Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and secretly the new modern Batgirl, in Detective Comics 359. The 1970s is a major shift for the evolution of Batman, with writer Dennis O'Neil and artist Neil Adams reinventing Batman and bringing him back to his gothic roots from the 1940s, reinventing some classic characters such as Two-Face in 1971's Batman 234 and the Joker in the now iconic Batman issue 251. In 1971, 2 of Batman's greatest adversaries were introduced into comics. Talia al Ghul in Detective Comics 411 and her father Ra's al Ghul in Batman 232. Is it Ra's? Is it Raish? I'm personally comfortable with Ra's, but you guys tell me, because I don't know. 1973 saw the first incarnation of the animated TV show Super Friends. From 1975 to 1978, the Batman family had its own self-titled publication lasting 20 issues. The very important love interest Silver St. Cloud debuted in 1977's Detective Comics 470. Crime Alley officially became the name where Bruce Wayne's parents were gunned down by Joe Chill, established in Dennis O'Neil's Detective Comics 457 tale, there is no hope in Crime Alley. Arkham Asylum is officially established as an institution for the criminally insane in 1980's 326. The character of Jason Todd debuted in 1983's Batman 357 and became the second Robin in 1983's Detective Comics 526. Dick Grayson takes up the mantle as Nightwing in Tales of the Teen Titans issue 4. I'm a Nightwing fangirl, so I definitely had to add this in as a fact. I'm sorry. 1986 saw Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, and Lynn Verley's 4-issue groundbreaking arc, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. The following year, Frank Miller updated Batman's origin story from Detective Comics 33 in 1939 in his 4-issue arc, Batman Year One, illustrated by David Mazzucchelli. Mike W. Barr writes the one-shot graphic novel Batman Son of the Demon, where Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul get married and she becomes pregnant. But then she has a miscarriage and they break it off. And spoiler alert, she doesn't have the miscarriage and she actually has the baby. And later, which we will see in this list, that baby turns out to be Damian Wayne, who was Bruce Wayne's son, who is the current Robin. It's a whole soap opera-esque thing, but we'll talk about that later. Alan Moore, Brian Bolland, and John Higgins published the one-shot graphic novel in 1988 called Batman: The Killing Joke, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. What? Not only does it give a fascinating updated origin story for the Joker, it is also important because Joker shoots Barbara Gordon, paralyzing her from the waist down, having her come down from the mantle as Batgirl. But don't worry, it gets worse. Thanks to voters, Jason Todd is killed by the Joker in Jim Starlin's 1988-1989 4-issue arc, Batman: A Death in the Family, which makes Batman's personal vendetta against the Joker even greater. In 1989, Tim Burton's blockbuster film Batman hits theaters, starring Michael Keaton as Batman and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. In November of 1989, Batman's first solo book in about 40 years was published, called Batman: Legends of the Dark Knight, which has incredible story arcs, some of the best within the next couple of decades, from Batman Venom to Gothic to Going Sane. I absolutely love that publication. As we round out the 1980s, we are introduced to the character Tim Drake in the arc A Lonely Place of Dying, and he becomes the third Robin in 1990's Batman 457. And in 1989, the first Elseworlds publication, of course it was a Batman one, I wouldn't have it any other way, is P. Craig Russell and Mike Mignola's Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which, another fun fact, is now an animated movie that you can go watch right now. It is absolutely fantastic. In 1990, Suicide Squad number 38, Barbara Gordon is revealed to be the computer genius hacker Oracle. In September of 1992, the animated TV show Batman the Animated Series debuted. No big deal, right? It's nothing. Also in that same month and year, the character Harley Quinn made her all-media debut in the episode Joker's Favor. In 1992's Detective Comics 647, Stephanie Brown, aka Spoiler, made her debut. Now, for me personally, 1993 is straight fire. I almost have to hold him while I talk about this. Hold on. This guy, look at him. He debuted in January of 1993's Batman: The Vengeance of Bane. And then he started this whole Batman Nightfall arc that was this incredible saga where he tried to mentally and physically, systematically break down the Batman. And in Batman issue 497, succeeded, breaking the Batman's back. I love him so much. You have no idea. In 1994, after Batman receives the mantle back from John Paul Valley, who took up the mantle while Batman was healing his back, Bruce decided to give the Batman mantle to Dick Grayson, who was briefly Batman in the arc Prodigal. I am loving this mullet. Do not sleep on the Nightwing mullet. In the 1990s, other anthologies and Batman publications were out, such as Shadow of the Bat and The Batman Chronicles. In 1995, Joel Schumacher's live-action movie Batman Forever debuted on the big screen, starring Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne Batman. Random fun fact with this, Bob Kane's favorite live-action Batman was Val Kilmer. Do with that information what you will. Schumacher's last Batman film, Batman and Robin, came out in 1997, starring George Clooney as Batman. However, the financial failures and, among other things, caused a huge hiatus within Batman on the big screen for 8 years until Nolan came around in 2005. In 1998 in comics, Gotham City hit a horrible earthquake which caused the Cataclysm storyline, leading into the year-long saga called No Man's Land in 1999. Not only in 1999's Batman 567, Cassandra Cain is introduced as Batgirl, but also Harley Quinn becomes part of Batman comic book canon in Paul Dini's 1999 one-shot Batman Harley Quinn. In 2002, Bruce Wayne is framed for the murder of his girlfriend Vesper Fairchild, goes to prison, then escapes prison in Bruce Wayne Murderer and Bruce Wayne Fugitive. In 2002 to 2003, writer Jeff Loeb and artist Jim Lee create the epic storyline Batman Hush. In October 2003, DC Comics begins a new World's Finest ongoing book called Superman Batman. 2004 is a pretty huge year for the Robin character. In Robin 125, by the wishes of his father, Tim Drake quits the Robin mantle, which an issue later, in Robin 126, Stephanie Brown, who is currently spoiler, decides, I want to be the new Robin, and shortly becomes the first girl wonder in regular continuity. I am not trying to shade Carrie Kelly, so don't come at me for that. She is technically in an alternate universe within the Dark Knight universe. I'm just saying. But of course, this gleeful time is cut short, very, very short. Not only does Batman fire Stephanie Brown from disobeying his orders, but in the 2005 arc War Games, Stephanie Brown is tortured and killed by Black Mask in Batman 623. Yikes. 2005 begins Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy film series, starting with Batman Begins 2005, The Dark Knight in 2008, and The Dark Knight Rises in 2012, all starring Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne and Batman. The Dark Knight definitely goes through it in 2006, when Jason Todd, who remember was killed by the Joker back in Batman and Death in the Family in the late 1980s, is resurrected and becomes the new Red Hood in Judd Winnick's Under the Hood. 2006 continues to be a stressful time for the Dark Knight because not only does Grant Morrison start his epic run on the Batman publication, but also in the 2006 arc Batman and Son, illustrated by Andy Kubert, Morrison introduces Damian Wayne as Bruce Wayne's son. Morrison continues with the dramatics in 2009's Final Crisis, when Batman is seemingly killed by Darkseid, which means Bruce Wayne's Batman was not in comics for a literal year, at least. Of course, Bruce Wayne's death means a huge change within the status quo of the Batman family. After Tony S. Daniels' Batman Battle for the Cowl, it resulted in Dick Grayson becoming Batman, Damian Wayne becoming Robin, Tim Drake becoming Red Robin, Stephanie Brown briefly becoming Batgirl, and of course Jason Todd remains as Red Hood. While the status quo is shaken up, Bruce Wayne is literally traveling through time in Grant Morrison's The Return of Bruce Wayne, which is a crazy fun 6-issue arc. Go check it out. And he is traveling back to the current Gotham City. But even when he returns, Dick Grayson continues to be Batman in the main Batman and Detective Comics publications, meaning that Bruce Wayne's Batman is more centered in books like Batman Inc. and Batman the Dark Knight. Before the reboot of the New 52, Jeff Johns and Andy Kubert had the storyline Flashpoint. Within this alternate universe, Thomas Wayne actually is the one that becomes Batman when Bruce Wayne is gunned down by a mugger in Crime Alley. And this interpretation is perhaps one of the most popular interpretations of not just Thomas Wayne, but of Batman himself. 2011 begins the New 52! Yay! Which was an entire reboot of the whole DC universe. But it was a pretty awesome time for Batman, because the creative team of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo brought out incredible stories to the Batman publication, from The Court of Owls to Death of the Family. Joker literally takes off his face, staples it back on. It is just crazy as crap. Batman Zero Year, which is kind of a new take on Batman's early years as the Caped Crusader, and Super Heavy, which also had James Gordon as Batman for a brief period of time. All these stories are amazing. So if you want to read modern Batman tales, those 4 arcs are definitely ones you should check out. This is probably one of the most important facts of all. In 2015, Bill Finger is finally giving recognition to co-creating the character Batman, and is now seen in comics and credits on movies, TV shows, video games, all of it. Because he really is the one amazing source that made the Batman that we all celebrate and love today. In 2016, we received a new oh, hold on. Before I even start that, what are we doing? Wait. Okay, now I'm ready. In 2016, we received a new cinematic Batman, Ben Affleck, and he debuted in the 2016 film Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. This is his nightmare Batman look. It's kind of cute. Always carrying him around. Woo. Alongside Henry Cavill's Superman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. So dope. In summer 2016, DC Rebirth began, which is a very, very, very slight reboot of the universe, but not necessarily. But we also have Tom King on the Batman publication, and we have a new leading Batman family within Detective Comics. In 2017, for the first time, the Justice League is up on the live-action big screen in the DC Extended Universe film of the same name. And right now, Bruce Wayne's Batman and Selena Kyle's Catwoman are getting ready to be married. Their marriage is supposed to culminate in Batman issue 50, which is coming out on the 4th of July. Will they make it? We don't know. I hope so, though. The Bat and the Cat are extreme goals, let me tell you. Woo! Well, there you go. Happy anniversary, Batman! That was 79 Bat Facts to celebrate Batman's 79th anniversary. So let me know if you like this concept of having facts along with the character due to how long they've been around and things like that. I could do different characters. I could do Nightwing. I could do Joker. I could do Harley Quinn. I could do Clayface. I could do whoever. So if you like this concept, please, 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 give it a bat thumbs up, and either tell me in the comments below. You can DM me on Instagram.com/HistoryOfTheBatman. You can tweet me at Twitter.com/HistoryOfTheBatman, or leave a comment on Facebook.com/HistoryOfTheBatman. Or you can email me at historyofthebatman@gmail.com. I'm still doing different reviews for Comicosity. I am actually writing for Comic Book Resources, so I will link my author's page below if you want to check out my recent articles. And I am still doing reviews for Warner Brothers Archives and videos for DC Comics, which new videos will be coming out, I believe, sometime next week. So look out for those. I have a few up my sleeve that I have created for them, and they just dish them out. So yay. And I will leave all, of course, my social media below. Please follow me on Instagram.com/HistoryOfTheBatman. It is a really great community. I love it so much. It's where History of the Batman began, and it would be great if you could be a part of it. And please, please, please subscribe, because I promise, have more videos for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned a little bit more about the Caped Crusader, and we will have more History of the Batman soon right here on YouTube. Remember, Gothamites, it's all about peace, love, and Batman. Bye.